Hi, it's Marissa. After reading the two versions of both The Three Little Pigs and Little Red Riding Hood, the difference that stood out to me the most was definitely one was more childlike and innocent, and the other one was definitely darker and had a deep sense of reality. I would say after reading the first one, it gave me more childlike features and a lot more, um, just by the wording of what they use, and even though it had like a darker aspect at the end because the wolf did the little pigs did cook the wolf, it still showed that children thought that the pigs were good, so they thought that the evil went down. So it still was very childlike in that manner. But then the other three little pigs, when the wolf just wanted to say he wanted a cup of sugar, and then he came to all three of the houses and blew them down with a sneeze, and then decided why not eat them because it would just be a waste. That's how it got a lot darker, was because the pigs were eaten just because the wolf was hungry. Um, and then with the Little Red Riding Hood, it was also the same thing. Like they used childhood words, and they said that she picked flowers and berries. And even though the wolf was disguised as the grandmother, and it was very obvious in a child's mind, it was not. So they kept that as that. But then they said the child was so naive that they believed that the wolf did eat the grandmother and Red Riding Hood because she didn't know that it was the wolf. So I think the original purpose for both these tales is that sometimes good wins, but then it also shows that sometimes evil wins, and the the more darker one shows that evil can sometimes win and can corrupt the good. So I think that's what the original purpose was. I think that they changed fairy tales to be lighter and more easier to digest because the other ones were very much dark and violent, and even I was a little shocked of what they were used to be like. Like for instance, um, Cinderella, we know that in the lighter one, she just loses her shoe, and then the prince finds her in the cottage, and then they get married. But the darker one is that the stepsister was so evil that she cut off her heel just to fit in the shoe, and the prince fell for it. Or for another instance, the Little Mermaid, we know she loses her voice to Ursula to get her prince and get legs. But in the darker version, if she does not, she has to have legs, but it's because like she's walking on glass. And then also she had to get rid of her tongue, and that if the prince didn't love her, she would turn to sea foam. So it was definitely just a lot more darker, and I think that it's a little too dark for children because childhood like minds are very innocent and they have this naiveness to them, and I think they realized that showing how dark that was, it just shows that they weren't ready for that. Like the moral lesson of the story is, unfortunate reality is dark and deep as that, but for a child it shouldn't be. It should be more happy and lighter, and I want probably like the moral lesson that children need to know that the world is mostly good. There's only just a little bit of bad in it. So I think the reason for that shift was to show that children can be children for a little more longer. In terms of literature, I think we have not become too desensitized to the reality of the world. I think that the world is too dark to begin with, and children have known that even when before we even knew as children, because of the news and just the corruption of the world right now. It's just so present in them, right? And I know that children are now like looking at the reality and the sense of it. So I think it's important to desensitize them for a while because they don't need to know that until they're adult. And I think that these readings and writings and stories and movies, I think it's good that they're a little more lighter and happier. I mean, I even turn on Disney movies when I'm having a really hard day or like life seems a little too hard. I just think it's a good way to show that that the world is mostly good to them, and that they believe that it should have that lightness to it. And I don't think they should know the truth of reality, and that life can be dark, and there's a lot of bad moments compared to the good moments. So I think it's a good thing to kind of shadow them away from the evil and more towards the good.